All right, peeps, it is Oracle Sunday. So let's get started. Um, Let me do my little prayer here. All right, Holy Spirit, thank you for the opportunity to be in the space, the opportunity to speak into the hearts and minds of whoever finds their way to my channel and finds their way to this reading. These messages are timeless. I thank you for the ability to be the conduit, to be an expression of hope, healing, inspiration via messages, cards, this creative modality to bring hope and speak life. Thank you for this. I ask that you would just settle my mind and my own emotions, just shelf my own stuff so that I can deliver clear and concise messages to whoever's viewing. We bind any negative energy, anything negative that would exalt itself against the true knowledge of who you are, Holy Spirit. We bind right now. I bind any fear, anxiety, doubt, confusion, and I loose the power of your supernatural love, joy, peace, goodness. I just loose it over every being watching this, through every fiber of their being, body, soul, spirit, heart, mind, will, and emotions. Just blanket them with your peace as they view this right now. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. Alrighty. I'm going to stick to a garden theme tonight. So we're just going to step into my garden cards. All right, what messages? I'm going to just take a few minutes to just pull some cards. Feel free to, I don't know, step away from your phone, go put the laundry in. I don't know, whatever you feel like, whatever you need to do, or fast forward. That's always a cool little feature on YouTube, the controlling the speed. You can always speed it up if I talk too slow. Messages for the collective. This Sunday evening, October, what is it? October 6th. Man, crazy. And my heart goes out to everyone affected by these tropical storms. I know Florida is bracing themselves right now for a Wednesday storm. I know in Western North Carolina and Tennessee, Georgia, a few other states that have been just devastated. My heart goes out to all of y'all. Family, friends, countless, thousands just displaced, missing. I can't fathom. I cannot even imagine. Ugh. If you are looking to donate, please donate to churches. Churches their funds can't be confiscated by any government agencies, federal agencies, as I've heard rumors of that happening. So, in case you haven't found out yet, in case you haven't discovered yet, the government is not for the people. So, just kidding, YouTube. It's for educational purposes. Holy moly, we got lots of flowers here. Let's focus on the positive. Okay, we're going to focus on the positive. Just my heart just hurts following everything very closely. And let's pull from... It's not really a garden deck, but... Okay, what else? What else am I missing? Okay, I guess we're not getting any messages from here. So we will stop with what we have and just move forward with this. Okay, it's going to be a short and sweet little encouraging oracles only this evening. All right. Oh. First off, we have the Six of Cups with the yucca plant, slow growing, will flourish in a sun-soaked spot. Dust the leaves with a damp cloth. So this card actually represents, it's like the charity card, shared wealth, support. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is not the charity card. This is youthful, playful energy. I'm sorry. Six of Pentacles is support. This one is emotions. The heart, suit of hearts represents emotions, feelings. This represents feeling young, youthful, carefree, real nostalgic energy. We have courage. When picking roses, do not fear the thorns. You know, and I posted on my Instagram. Gosh, where was my brain going with that? No, maybe it wasn't on Instagram. It was just, I think, in a private group chat. I was just saying I was thankful I've had a rough few years. And as painful as it was, I'm actually, obviously hindsight's 2020. I would have rather have not gone through it probably. Most likely it was pretty painful. But, at least there's beauty that comes from it. Like, think of a beautiful rose and the painful thorns. Like, don't fear it. They still serve a purpose. Like the pain that I went through, the pain that my family went through, that just those special circumstances really accelerated my growth. It brought out strong characteristic qualities and traits in myself and my children that we wouldn't otherwise have. So we have a newfound strength. So if you're going through something hard right now and it seems unbearable and all you can do is literally wake up and put your feet on the floor, get out of bed and let your toes touch the floor, applaud yourself. Because sometimes that's all we can do is get up and face another day. I've had many mornings where as soon as I come into like a conscious awakening of my morning, my first thoughts are, fuck. Like, oh my God, I'm waking up to this. That's right. I can't escape this. And, I'm just keeping it real. I've definitely had many, many times when I don't want to wake up. Not that I want to, not be here, but you don't want to face your current reality or your current situation in life. But I will say that I've come through to the other side of feeling that way, at least for now. And it doesn't last, that feeling of dread, that feeling of heaviness. It lifts and you end up with like an inner strength, an inner badass. It's like this. My daughter mentioned it the other day. She's like, Mom, I'm really proud of you. You have really found your voice. I'm like, well, am I a bitch? She's like, no, you don't put up with people's crap anymore like you used to. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm a bitch, but thank you. Maybe that just comes with age, but I just feel like I've been through too much. You go through, there's just this threshold that I think you arrive at when you go through so much and you've overcome so much. The other little petty stuff, it's just, you don't have time or tolerance for it. It's like, you know what? Keep that to yourself. Don't put that on me. Don't speak that over me. Get out of my energy field. Like, I'm not dealing with you or this. Protecting my peace and protecting my energy. I'm going to choose to move forward with love and peace in my heart. And if you have all this garbage you want to hang on other people and not look at it yourself and unpack it yourself, you're going to have to find elsewhere to do that, because I'm not holding space for you to do that. So I guess that's the era I'm in, is the no take no shit, do no harm, right? Take no shit, do no harm. Anyway, I digress. So we have some youthful energy. We have courage. When picking roses, don't fear the thorns. Obviously, growth. With growth comes pain, suffering. It's It's painful. It hurts. But as long as you have breath in your lungs, there's hope. And I promise you, the sun will rise again tomorrow, and you will be amazed at the new wings you have grown, right? If you think about the caterpillar and what it goes through, we don't even know. We've never been in the caterpillar's shoes, but we know that it literally like melts down to an ooey gooey ooze in its metamorphosis in its cocoon before it breaks out and fights its way out. Literally fights its way out of its cocoon and stretches its wings and has a whole new perspective on life. Same creature. So that little creepy crawly little caterpillar that was crawling at ground level, no perspective of what life could be like hundreds of feet up in the air, right? All it had ever known was the same creepy crawly slow crawl of like fear of getting snatched up by a bird or run over by a bicycle. Same creature, new perspective after immense growth, immense pain, immense transformation, metamorphosis. So don't fear it. Know that you can handle it. You can handle the pressure. You can handle the stress, and you're going to get through it even better. You're going to get through it with a whole new perspective, with a whole new set of tools in your toolbox, with a new way to view life and view challenges, and with a new appreciation for who you are, you know. I have a lot more self-compassion and grace for myself now than I did 5 years ago, 2 years ago even. All right, we have Snapdragon. Listen with care, speak with kindness. Ooh, maybe that's for me. Listen with care, speak with kindness. And you know what? I didn't pull the card from this particular deck, but I have a listen in here, and we're going to read it. Okay. And there's a quote from Alfred Brendel. The word listen contains the same letters as the word silent. Many people claim to be good listeners, yet fail to possess the innate ability to really listen. People often take an active role in listening to one another, adding comments, remarks, opinions, and expressions of reaction to what they're hearing. I totally do that. True listening goes beyond that which can be heard with your ears. Listen for the subtle nuances, consider the pauses, the thoughtful stares, the wistful gazes. Listen with your heart. Hear the words and allow them to evoke within you a response that gives rise to empathy and compassion. Allow others to really feel that they are being heard. Suppress any urges you have to comment or pass judgment. Allow the story to come forth unsullied by the lens through which you see the world. The more you listen, the more you will learn. So the light aspects of this are attentive, aware, open, willing, shadow side, closed off, obtuse, imperceptive, narrow-minded. And here is an example of sacred words that can be spoken or an affirmation. I realize that the most important words are the ones that are unspoken. It's associated with the throat chakra. When you hold a seashell to your ear, it's easy to hear the whispers of the ocean, every wave as it hits the shore and gently recedes. As you listen to the stories of others, make sure that you pay attention to the small details, not letting yourself be distracted by your own thoughts and feelings. All right, I just wanted to read that to y'all. We have play, more playful energy, just like this plant that encourages youthfulness, spontaneity, a carefree vibe, nostalgic, childlike energy. Play among the grass and wild violets. Play, period. Among the grass and wild violets lie undisturbed little secrets to uncover. Talking about perspective shifts. Maybe when you shift your perspective, when you're challenged with something, to a more playful approach, you can uncover something you wouldn't have seen or felt or understood or experienced otherwise. We have lotus. Stand still for now and listen to your life. We know the lotus flower grows from the mud and the muck. So again, similar to the caterpillar story, through those dark, trying, like, think of a little seed, think of the beginnings of a plant or whatever strength it has, that it can garner the nutrients it needs to absorb and soak up in order to have the strength to literally push through, like compacted mud, to grow and blossom and bloom into something so beautiful and so profound. In some cultures, it's considered such a sacred. The filaments inside, they don't depict it in artwork because it's such a sacred symbolism. I can't remember the exact details of that, but it's true. Then we have lavender. Take time to cleanse and remove negativity. Hydrangea. Heartfelt apology. So we have listen with care, speak with kindness, cleanse, remove negativity. Maybe if this is speaking to your heart, maybe someone's being brought to your mind right now that could benefit from an apology from you, or maybe you could benefit from holding a mirror up to yourself and seeing where you may have misspoken or misstepped. It's it's a hit to the ego for sure and pride, but it's an opportunity for growth. Hydrangea, heartfelt apology. Allow water to flow under the bridge. Forgive. If you're in the wrong, a sincere apology will heal, and it'll heal an important rift. Forgiveness is tough, man. It really, really is. I was thinking about that this morning, and it's not designed to benefit really. I guess it does benefit the other party because there's these invisible ties when you don't forgive, and it creates kind of a landing pad for shit, for like just spiritual gunk to stick to you. It's kind of like self-imposed chains. Really, honestly, imagine yourself handcuffed to the other person, and unforgiveness kind of limits your ability to move freely and function freely without that hindrance and encumbrance of unforgiveness energetically. So just imagine yourself taking the key and unlocking your hand when you forgive someone and setting yourself free. Let them run off with the shackles jangling, That's their problem to figure out. Your part is to release. I'm working on it still myself, but I don't even know how. And I think sometimes even if you don't know how to forgive, if you just be like, listen, God, creator, source, universe, help me. I don't have the strength within myself. Help me. Give me strength to forgive this person. Bring to mind who I need to forgive today. I used to remember years ago, every day I would ask, like, Holy Spirit, will you bring to mind who I need to forgive? And random people would come to mind from years I'd forgotten. And it was just a practice that I had done every day. And I need to get back into doing that. I'm just now getting back into my gratitude journaling. So we'll just shelf that for now. No, forgiveness is tough. It's really tough, because it's so justified to hold on to anger towards someone who's wronged you. It feels like, like righteous indignation. Like, I'm not forgiving them. They fucking deserve that. They deserve my anger. They don't even know about it. They don't even know you're angry. It doesn't really, I think a lot of people either they don't realize they've hurt you in a way that needs to be forgiven, or they're so heartless and cruel. Sometimes they're in such a limited mindset they don't even care. They know what they did and they don't care. So whether or not you forgive them doesn't affect them either way. So you might as well do it just for the sake of your own benefit, for your own healing, so that you can go forward on your path unencumbered by that heaviness and that low vibrational frequency, like shame, guilt, fear, all that shit. So just let it go for your own sake, because they don't care anyways, or they're unaware, All right, chrysanthemum, truth. This flower represents truth. I'm just going to start layering. Truth. Embrace authenticity and allow the perfection of your being to unfold. Yes, one more time for the people in the back. Embrace authenticity and allow the perfection of your being to unfold. You will find that you shine like the sun. Allow the perfection of your being to unfold. Allow the perfection of your being to unfold. Perfection. You are perfect. You are perfect. Shadows and all, darkness and all, darkness and light, both, all of it. Acceptance is so key. I'm working on that myself. Self-acceptance is like foundational, because I only recently, I think a few months ago, I found out that authenticity is the highest frequency, even higher than love. Authenticity, because that's actually true love, right? True acceptance. Loving unconditionally is accepting someone with their darkness and their light. So being able to be authentic and show up with full and complete acceptance and love for who you are, that is such a high vibing power. I don't even know where to go. Like, just start listening to podcasts about the power of authenticity. But it's just incredible. I remember I was at a point in my life once where I was listening to one of my favorite like church speakers. What's his name? He was part of a dead raising team, believe it or not. He spoke at my church, and the church that I grew up in. I don't. Anyway, well, that's religion's another topic. I'm not a fan of. I'm not a practicing religious person going to church, but he spoke, and it was just so amazing, and he was just so different than any other pastor I'd heard, and he just preached truth, and it was totally unhinged. I guess he'd been kicked out of other places just to come speak because he was so unfiltered and raw and literally like told it like it was. And this guy has like mission trips to like, they go to like all over the world and pray over people that have died and see miracles, see people come back to life, like craziness. Anyways, what was his name? Tyler something. Anyway, he had a CD, one of his things that he spoke, I bought the CD of it, and it would play it in my car as I drove around Portland doing deliveries, and I just listening to it on repeat, and just something clicked in me, and I just felt like, I don't know, supernatural or what. I just felt so freaking full of love. Like I literally felt like a ball of light. Like I was just love. It just clicked in my brain. It clicked in my soul. It clicked in my spirit. Every part of my being knew that I was perfect, and that nothing could take that value away from me, or could mar me, or like devalue me in any way. Like I just was totally, completely loved, and there was nothing I could do to change that. And it changed how I behaved. I just became this like Energizer bunny. I never ran out. It just, everyone I encountered, everywhere I went, I just spilled out fucking love and light, and I couldn't stop it. And I don't know how to get back to that, because I don't feel that way anymore. If I'm being completely honest, I don't, and I have no clue what that CD was, what that sermon was. But it was all about knowing how loved you are. And I totally agree with that. When you know how loved you are by the Creator, when you know deep down to your core that nothing you can say or do will change how much you're cherished and valued and accepted and loved, you behave different. You behave different. You interact with the world around you differently, and it's life-changing. It is literally life-changing. And I believe to this day there are ripple effects from me feeling that and living in that energy, that are still rippling out and affecting other people and other people and other people. But back to our reading here. I said it would be short and sweet. We have eucalyptus, more about cleansing negative energy. Okay, so it's cleanse and purify. Okay. Eucalyptus. Negative energy disperses when you burn a eucalyptus leaf. It's time to clear away both physical and emotional clutter. It's time to clear away both physical and emotional clutter. Okay, let's do a little activation. I have physical clutter all around me because my little studio setup is in the corner of my bedroom, so it's kind of like office, bedroom, health center. I have my little spa blanket. Okay, I have this jar of eucalyptus leaves. They're pretty dried up, but we're going to burn one right now. Physical clutter, I'm not going to do anything about that right now, but we're going to do an activation for emotional clutter. Right? I've got this eucalyptus leaf right here. Negative energy disperses when you burn a eucalyptus leaf. It's time to clear away both physical and emotional clutter. All right, guys, let's do this. I have my little burn pot here. I like to burn things in here. There's a lot of like I'll throw my matches after lighting my Palo Santo, or there's Palo Santo in there, and I think there's eucalyptus in there. So we are going to light this baby on fire right now. And I want you to, while I'm preparing, I want you to think of something emotionally draining that you've been hanging on to. Maybe there's someone that you need to forgive. I know it's a lot easier than just saying, I forgive them. It's not, it's not that easy. But it can be that easy. You just say it, and then your brain will start to believe it, and then you'll start to feel it. But if there's some kind of emotional clutter, if there's something that you have felt pulling on you, nagging at the back of your mind, something that you keep just pushing away because you don't want to deal with it, you just, not today, not right now. I don't have the energy for that. If you can think of something that's really been bothering you, I'll share mine, but let me give you just a few minutes to think, or not even a few minutes. Just think of something right now. Let me think. I'll think of something for me, something that you can release. My emotional baggage right now, my emotional clutter that I'm going to unpack for y'all is feeling like a failure. Oh my gosh, I'm like about to cry. So I surrender this belief because it's not true. I'm not a failure. But I feel like I've failed my kids because I haven't been able to provide for them the way that I wanted to. So I release this emotional baggage right now. I'm going to light this little eucalyptus leaf. And as I burn it, I want you to also confess out loud to yourself, to the universe, to God, to Creator, and state the negative belief. And then I want you to say, this is a lie. I am not a failure. Or whatever. I am not blank. My mask just went out. And this is when I put it in there, and I have a whole bunch of these in here because that happens often. We're going to get the big boys out. The big guns out. Okay. What I want you to do, we're going to burn a eucalyptus leaf. You've got that negative belief. You've got that emotional baggage you need to release. Mine is, my limiting belief is feeling like a failure, like I've let my family down. So we're going to confess it, pronounce it, like speak it out. I am, say the opposite of what your emotional baggage is. I don't know what yours is, but you get the idea. And then we're just going to say, I release this. I release this to you, Spirit. I release this to you, God, to you, Universe, to you, Source, to you, Creator. I release it. I let it go. With this leaf burning, that belief burns up with it. Okay? All right, I'll just say mine. I am not a failure. I release this lie and limiting belief that I've held on to, this emotional baggage that has encumbered me and held me captive. All right, that negative energy disperses. It's gone. I let go of that. I don't believe that any longer. Instead, I choose to believe that I am an overcomer, and I have modeled to my children how to persevere in the face of hardship, how to be creative in finding solutions, and how to hustle. My 22-year-old has told me that. He said that to me before. He's like, Mom, if anyone knows how to hustle, it's you. You've taught me like how to work hard, how to hustle. And other people have told me my kids are such hard workers. They have such a good work ethic. And I am claiming that I taught them that by example. All right. So just speak your limiting belief. It's gone. That eucalyptus leaf is all burned up. Almost. It's burning, smoldering. The negative energy is dispersing. You release that. Whew. And you have to replace it. If you release something, you've got to replace it. So rewire into your brain right now the opposite of what you were, that negative belief. So for me, I'm going to repeat this to myself over and over and over again. Every time I feel like that's creeping back in to try to take root, I'm going to say no. And you cannot. I've heard somewhere like 17 seconds of thinking about something, new neurons will like wire together and cement that belief in your brain. So you cannot allow yourself to think on a negative thought longer than 17 seconds. Don't even let it get to 5 seconds. You know, be the constant gardener of your thoughts and your emotions and your brain. So every time that I start to feel like a failure, I'm going to, no, I'm not a failure. I'm an overcomer. And my kids are blessed to have a parent model what it's like to overcome hardship, to overcome surprising circumstances that put you in a position of instability. They're blessed to have a mom who can come up with creative solutions with a playful spirit. They're blessed to have someone who can show them how to take pain and turn it into strength. So speak it out, release it. It's gone. Do you guys have your positive beliefs to replace it? Good. Let's move on. Ace of Wands, baby. Perfect. Ace of Wands. Look at all that growth. Look at all that. Just imagine the growth in the garden of your brain as you practice that activation. You can do it over and over again. Do more. This is just one that we're releasing and replacing. But this is about creativity, enthusiasm, brilliant ideas, a birth or a fresh start. So some of you may be already thinking of creative new ways to overcome hardships in your life, clearing out negativity. Like that was just something on the fly that I just decided to do. There's other things you can do. You can write things down and crumple it up and burn it. Write a letter to someone that you need to forgive and then burn it. Anyway, fresh new start. Baby's breath. Everlasting success is assured if you remain honest and true. We have the jade plant. I believe jade is a symbol of luck and abundance. Hold on, I gotta reference my little notes that I take. I did a little research. Yeah, this represents prosperity, luck and finances, wealth, growth, renewal, great friendships. Oh my gosh, I am so lucky. I'm lucky in friendships. I have just made some new friends. I've been in hermit mode for like 4 years, and I'm finally connecting with other women, and I love it. I love it. Through my Etsy and through Instagram, I'm loving it. I'm loving the connections. I've missed it so much. We have white rose for new start. Man, there's so many messages here of like new starts, fresh start. The jade plant, the ace of wands. I mean, that's what happens when you forgive too. When you release the old, you will make room for the new. We've got the white rose with new start. There's even butterflies to signify transformation and growth, Wow, that's pretty cool. There's a quote from Aristotle. It says, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. The white rose is the Eastern equivalent of the lotus flower. What? We were just talking about the lotus flower right here. It similarly denotes the wisdom of enlightenment. One of many myths surrounding the white rose is the story of its first creation. When Aphrodite, the goddess of love, rose up from the ocean, the sea foam formed roses in her honor. Woo! I didn't even know that. I don't really know a lot about Greek mythology. When Aphrodite, the goddess of love, rose up from the ocean, the sea foam formed roses in her honor. In the Victorian language of flowers, the white rose held the promise of a new beginning, especially in romantic matters. Woo! Some of y'all watching are going to have a new beginning in love. The petals of the rose are like a spiral. The wisdom you learned along the way keeps circling back to you, lifting you up to new heights. Even the pain of life's thorny lessons are signs that you have grown and are now prepared for a fresh new beginning. Yes, we were talking about not fearing the thorns of the roses. Like beauty and pain go together. You grow and you learn, and it serves to level you up. And as you grow and learn, you literally transform without even realizing it into a whole new creature with a whole new perspective on life. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. And you know what? Since we just touched on love, some of you have romance blooming. We are going to pull a couple romantic cards with messages. What do we have here for love, for people watching with a new beginning in love? Okay. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do. For it's only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. Amen. Authenticity. What can people look forward to? People who are going to experience a new beginning in love? What kind of emotions? What's going to feel like, look like? Sapphire, taking action, blossoming love, releasing the past. I love this. We just literally did an activation releasing emotional baggage. You don't want to carry all that shit into a new beginning in love anyway. You got to clear out the negativity, clear out the past, make way for the new. If you had a little tiny mini fridge, like you're on vacation, you got a little mini fridge, you have limited space, and you have a gallon of milk hogging up all the room in that fridge, and it's expired, it's curdling, it's sour, it's rotten. There's no way in hell you're going to open that baby up and even take a whiff of it. It's just sitting there taking up space. Are you going to keep it in there the whole time and ruin your vacation? Or are you going to take it out, make room for something healthy, make room for something yummy, maybe some margarita mix for some good times, or maybe for some green juice that will nourish your body and your soul? Clear out the old expired shit in your life, stuff that's no longer nourishing you, stuff that's no longer feeding your soul, anything that's hindering your growth. Get rid of it. Light a eucalyptus leaf, write it down on paper and burn it, flush it down the toilet. We have Seven of Pentacles. This card represents hard work that you've invested in, work that you've done over a long period of time. Like harvesting after, like sowing the seeds and harvesting all of the harvest. It's long-term results, success. Here's my little cheat sheet. Yeah. Planning, hard work, rewards, results, long-term success. This is the golden barrel cactus. Slow growing, likes bright sunlight, warmth, and soil with good drainage. Good drainage, because what does drainage do? Drains away what's no longer needed. Loves the sun, warmth, kindness. Sun represents happiness, success. Slow growing, so hard work, lots of effort and growth. Like it's harvesting in all that hard work's going to pay off. Daffodils. These spring up after a long, cold, hard winter. This signifies spring, right? So if any of you have been in a season of winter in your life, or if things feel hopeless and dark and cold, empty, dead, they're not. Things are just dormant. Hope is dormant. It's there. Just hang on for the winter to thaw, for spring to burst forth. You're almost there. This represents rebirth and new beginnings. There's a quote from Lao Tzu. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Gosh, there's so many messages about pain connected to newness. It's just part of the knocks of life, right? You just accept that if you want to be here, you've got to endure this. You know what I mean? Pain is inevitable. It's part of growing. Let's read about the daffodil. Though in mythology, Narcissus is associated with self-love, in the Victorian language of flowers, the daffodil symbolizes high regard and chivalry. The sweeping drama of a sunny meadow filled with daffodils inspired Wordsworth's most famous poem. To many, the daffodil is associated with Easter, the resurrection, and the vernal equinox. Among the first cheerful flowers to announce the start of springtime after the long winter, the daffodil is a sign of rebirth and new beginnings. Here's your message. Now is the time to step into the light. Shed your old ways and begin a new phase of your life. Hold yourself in high regard, and others will too. Let me repeat that. Now is the time to step into the light. Shed your old ways and begin a new phase of your life. Hold yourself in high regard, and others will too. We literally just had a lunar eclipse on the 2nd. I believe it was the 2nd of October. Its whole meaning was to signify like death, or putting away, not death, but like putting an end to the past. Do not repeat narratives of the past. It's a whole new age. We're literally moving into the age of Aquarius. A whole new age. Everything changes. You literally get to step into a new timeline, a higher timeline. It's whatever you choose to focus on. So catch your thoughts within 5 to 10 seconds and shift your energy. Shift how you feel. I was feeling icky I caught myself earlier today, like someone was mean and I was just like, and then I stopped myself and I was like, nope, I'm not giving this person 17 seconds of my brain. And then I closed my eyes. I'm like, I'm in Italy. I've got my olive trees and my garden and my grapes and I'm sipping some lemonade. Oh, I feel so good sitting out here realizing my dream come true. I had to like literally like be like a crazy person and saying all this out loud to myself sitting here because I was like, I was just real salty for only like 5 seconds. And then I literally said out loud, I'm not giving them 17 seconds. And then started speaking my dreams out loud. Mexican snowball. I've never heard of a Mexican snowball. What the hell? Native to the deserts of Mexico, enjoys full sun and free draining soil. So this is the Five of Pentacles. This is a card of can't speak. This is a card of rejection. Five of Pentacles speak to that feeling of feeling rejected. I literally was just expressing how I felt rejected. Well, not rejected, but like it was somebody replying to a comment of mine on Facebook, a stranger online, like being mean to me. But I caught myself. Yeah, that's funny because I was just talking about that feeling, and it was that feeling of being left out in the cold, feeling rejected, right? The Five of Pentacles, usually on tarot cards, is depicted with people out in the snow huddling together outside of a church building with bright mosaic windows, and they can't get in because they're left out in the cold. So it's energy of feeling lack, financial hardship, struggle, lack of faith, maybe even like health problems, sickness, just being out of vibrational alignment with your highest self. Like literally if you're in low vibrational things like fear, shame, guilt, lust, all the low vibing shit will bring on this energy. And it's literally up to you to choose your thoughts. Guard your brain, guard your heart. Like literally be a gardener on watch. Like every little look in your thoughts, look in your brain, like look in the soil. Up, what's that sprouting up? Okay, you're good. You're cool. You're chill. You're a good thought. You're a good emotion. Anything that's negative, anything that's low, pluck that shit out. Don't give it 17 seconds. All right. Lupine. This flower signifies hunger for life, admiration, happiness, positive outlook, imagination, inner strength, new opportunities. All right. Sweet William. It says, gallantry, grant me a single smile. And there's a quote by Abraham Cowley. Sweet William Small has form and aspect bright, like that sweet flower that yields great Jove delight. So that's kind of hard to understand. Sweet William Small has form and aspect bright, like that sweet flower that yields great Jove and delight. So this is like a very happy flower, I take it. It's small, it's frail, but like it packs a punch. You may feel insignificant, but you carry power, you carry light. Your unique set of circumstances in life, the thorns and all, give you authority to speak into the lives of others who may feel hopeless, who may be in the winter, who may not see life or any signs of life, and you might be that sign of life to them. Sweet William. Sweet William may have taken its name from the Old English romantic ballad of Sweet William the Gallant Sailor, who pledged his faithful love to black-eyed Susan. These two wildflowers are often found together, always blooming at the same time. Others believe the flower's moniker was actually inspired by William Shakespeare. To Victorians, the fragrant flower carried the message to the recipient, grant me a single smile. The tiny tufts of Sweet William flowers invite you to come closer and allow yourself to fall under their spell as you gaze into their eyes. Here's your message. The most attractive thing you can put on each day is your smile. Your smile will attract more positive energy from others around you. Be the reason someone smiles today. Red rose. It's not a rose, but I just thought Red Rover, send William right over. Red Rose. Hidden secrets. Ooh. Ooh, I love this quote from Buddha. It says, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Trust. I don't care how long it takes, the truth will always reveal itself. And that, I'm hanging on to that quote. Hidden secrets. The red rose. Red roses have been treasured and imbued with deep meaning throughout history. The floors of Cleopatra's palace were carpeted with red rose petals. The red rose came to be associated with secrets, when in Greek mythology a rose was given by Eros to Harpocrates, the god of silence. Ooh. In ancient Roman times and throughout the Middle Ages, red roses hung above the tables were a signal that the words... Oh, what? They hung red roses above the tables. It was a signal that the words spoken, subrosa, the words spoken beneath the roses, would be kept strictly secret. The rose is often used to signify secret religious and spiritual rituals. In the secret language of flowers, the number of roses was as significant as the color. A single red rose meant, and anyone who's seen The Bachelor knows, you are the one. A single red rose means you are the one. A bouquet of 6 red roses meant, I want to be yours. Here's your message. Keeping secrets not only keeps others in the dark, but keeps them at a distance. Always speak your truth, even when you think it may hurt. It's better to make someone cry with the truth than to make someone smile with a lie. Amen to that. We have, you dwell in your mind day and night. Shape it with purity, love, and gratitude. Be the gardener of your mind. We have flow or flocks. Unanimity and harmony. And here's a quote from Marcus Aurelius. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. From the Greek word for flame, the phlox, I don't know how to pronounce that. So anyway, the phlox flower has been cherished since ancient times. Pliny the Elder included a description of the phlox in his Encyclopedia of Agriculture. Phlox are indigenous to North America and have long been utilized by Native Americans for decoration, cooking, and herbal medicine. Europeans were introduced to phlox in 1725 at the Chelsea Botanic Gardens, where people were immediately taken with its charm and delightful fragrance. Because of the close clusters of its many flowerets, the phlox came to symbolize unanimity. I can't say that word. Unity. We'll just say unity. Unanimity. Unity and harmony. Here's the message. One single flower does not make a bouquet. One voice alone cannot create harmony. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you work in unity, combining the flames of your own passion with others' energy and talents. What? I love that. Let me say that again. Jane, this is for you. This reminds me of my friend Jane. She just has such a heart for women and empowering women and coming together and encouraging each other and lifting each other up and celebrating each other's talents, no matter how unique our gifts and talents or how differing they are from one another. She just wants to see women succeed and be a part of that unity, right? The unanimity of coming together as a whole and lifting everyone up. How much more can you accomplish together than alone, you know? Let me read that again. One voice alone cannot create harmony. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you work with unity, combining the flames of your own passion with others' energy and talents. Wow. We're going to see that happen in this lifetime, I promise you, on a massive scale. Tulip, friendship and gratitude. How fitting after that. Let us be grateful for the people who make us happy. They are the charming gardeners who make our souls blossom. tulip. Another spring flower after a cold, hard, long winter. We're coming into spring, I swear. It's like a galactic spring, the age of Aquarius. First cultivated by the Persians and Turks at the time of the Ottoman Empire, tulips were brought to Vienna by foreign ambassadors. The stories of the tulip mania that swept through Europe beginning in the 17th century are familiar to most gardeners. In the Eastern language of flowers, red tulips were an emblem of the flames of passion. Ooh la la. Later, when tulips became more common in Europe, various colors developed different meanings. Hear that train horn? It's so loud. Different flowers, different colors develop different meanings. White signals purity. Yellow means friendship and sunshine. Variegated says, you have beautiful eyes. Pink means affection and gratitude. Share your burdens with friends and they become lighter. When you share your joys, they multiply and spread. Be grateful for true friends who are there for both the laughter and the tears. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm literally coming into a chapter of my life where I literally feel like I have people I can unburden myself to. And my friend today, like I recently reconnected with a childhood friend of mine, and she sent me a picture on Instagram of us when we were like 15, 13, 14, 15. I don't know. I look like a dweeb, but it's just so like comforting to have someone in your life that knows you completely from your past. You know, I mean, all friends in different walks of life, different phases, different times, but specifically this friend from 30 freaking years ago, I can't explain. And we went so long without being in contact, but I can't explain how comforting it is to reconnect. So if there's someone on your heart that you've been meaning to reach out to, just do it. We've all grown. If you think, oh no, you don't know who they are today. Life changes you. Experiences change you, shape you, mold you, and you grow and you change and your perspective shifts. You become more open with time. You don't know. And it's just such a treasure to have someone that knows your past, your present, and believes in you and believes in your future and cheers you on, and vice versa. All right. You are special. So be special. Decide to specialize in something for your creative success. All right. Specialize. Have you guys ever heard of the book, The One Thing? It was one of my required readings when I was in real estate. And and I read The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver is really good. It's about serving, being in service to others, and how that unlocks your success in business. But no, The One Thing, I think it's written by someone for Keller Williams Realty, but I read it years ago, but it's about honing in on one skill. I'm more of a Jill of all trades. I don't know, but it talks about finding one thing that you can put your heart and soul into and really mastering it and owning it and exemplifying it and living it. So maybe this is a message to someone out there. It's not even the right one. Oh, this card just fell off the stack. I guess we should read it. I'm going to save it. Dive into your life, allowing your beautiful words and actions to become inspirational. Dive into your life. Allow your beautiful words and actions to become inspirational. Maybe some of you need to share publicly. Start a YouTube channel or an Instagram and just speak life out into the world via internet. You know, you never know who will come across it. And even if one soul finds those words of inspiration and it clicks in them and it activates something in them that creates a ripple effect of change, it's worth it. You have something that others need, the world needs. You carry something uniquely yours that the world needs. So quit hiding. I'm coming out of hiding. You come out of hiding. If you need to repair something, use gold and be creative. See the value in mending. Oh, this is kind of like a head nod to that Japanese art. I can't remember what it's called, but with the broken pottery and they repair it with gold. I love that. Like your brokenness is your uniqueness. It's part of your story. It's part of what gives you strength and authority and character. Like, don't hide it. Your flaws, don't hide your flaws. We're so over that in society, trying to be Insta worthy and Instagram perfect. Fuck that. Be authentic. Authenticity is in. Dress yourself with reverence. Bow to the infinite within you and radiate it. Dress yourself with reverence. Bow to the infinite within you and radiate it. What comes to mind when I read that is choosing what you wear. Right? You get up, you choose what you're going to put on, clothes on your body. Why don't you imagine putting on a cloak of reverence? I was thinking of shame. I was thinking of failure, unworthiness. Like, think of them as tangible cloaks or garments that you would wrap yourself in before you walk out the door. I am not going to choose shame. I'm not. And if anyone brings something to me that's cloaked in shame, take it. I don't want it. Get away. Don't come at me with that. I don't want to put those clothes on. So dress yourself in authenticity, in joy, in creativity. Choose to pick and choose what you're going to wrap yourself in for the day energetically. It's your birthright to explore your creative path and be happy your entire life. We don't have to live this life struggling. That's not what we came here to do. We didn't come here to struggle. Sure, the struggle can be transformed and utilized to level you up and grow your being, but it's not our purpose. Our purpose is not to struggle. I think our purpose is to be authentic and to shine and to share and connect and create. Radiate happiness, radiate joy. We have the lilac. First emotions of love. Love is a magician that pulls man out of his own hat. A quote from Ben Heck. Love is in the air. Ooh, I love that. Okay. Lilac. Let's read about the lilac. More love, huh? First emotions of love. Lilac are among the most sweetly fragrant flowers to be found anywhere. Their brief but captivating beauty is celebrated in the poetry of Walt Whitman and Robert Burns, among others. In the language of flowers, purple lilac blossoms represent the first emotions of new love, and the white lilac is emblematic of youthful innocence. Lilacs owe their botanical name to the beautiful Greek nymph Syringa, who turned herself into a fragrant bush in order to escape the unwanted advances of Pan, the god of the forest and the fields. Ooh. I don't know what that's about. That's interesting. In Russian folklore, the lilac bush is believed to bring wisdom to newborn babies. What? All right, any mamas out there with newborns, get yourself a bushel of lilacs and hang it over their crib. Inspirational message. Like the lilac's fleeting beauty, you cannot hold forever that elusive feeling of falling in love for the first time. Don't get caught up in trying to chase that feeling down. Just nurture love and you will see it blossom and grow. Let me read that again. Like the lilac's fleeting beauty, you cannot hold forever that elusive feeling of falling in love for the first time. Don't get caught up in trying to chase that feeling down. Just nurture love and you will see it blossom and grow. So anyone out there experiencing the flutters, the excitement of new love, it's also called limerence. It's not anything that's meant to last. Usually they say it lasts like 3 months max, Just hang in there, stick it out, hold this connection with an open hand and allow it to blossom and bloom and grow, and see what comes of it, without any expectations or demands. Just allow. I'm thinking, a song just came to mind. Have you guys ever heard the Edelweiss song from Sound of Music? Okay, I'm going to sing to you. We have one more card, but I got to sing this song. It goes, Edelweiss, Edelweiss, you look happy to meet me, right? Blossoming, I know what it is. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, you look happy to meet me. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow. Bloom and grow forever. Yeah, and we were talking about winter. There's beauty even in the winter. Blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow. Yeah. Bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss. Okay, we have creativity. This is the last card. Marigold for creativity. There's a lot of discussion here about creativity tonight. So, again, I don't care who you are. I believe it's just inherent in us as spiritual beings on this earthly experience. We were designed, a part of our essence is to create. We're creators. Do you realize, like, do you ever notice how numb you get? Like, have you ever like gone on like a spending frenzy online and you don't realize how much money you've spent? Just click, 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 click. And then all of a sudden your card's declined. I've done that. Like, wait, what do you mean? I have like $1,000 in the bank. I just spent $1,000. I've done it. I don't know if I probably shouldn't admit that, but I think when you become a consumer or you get carried away with consumerism and check out of like creativity, when you're in that, I feel like there's like some kind of like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like this twilight zone that comes over you where you just become a little clicking zombie and it's just scroll, 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 click, 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 consume, 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 consume posts, consume people, other people's memes, other people's stories, when you could be putting out your own. You could be creating. You could be putting your heart on your sleeve. You could be creating, looking into a hobby and offering up things that would only come into existence if you created them, you know? Okay, marigold. But I just think when we get into consumer, that vibe, the energy of being a consumer, you kind of just get zombie-like and check out and you're not really living, you know? When you're creative, when you're in the act of creating, you become alive and inspired. All right. Creativity. You are bursting with ideas and you have the talent to achieve them. Practice your craft and watch it grow like an orangey fire. Just do it. All right, peeps. I love you. No, we're already like an hour. All right. It's okay. If people don't want to watch it, they don't have to watch it. You can always speed up my talk too, my voice. I feel one more card. I'm being pulled to one final card. What is it? What's the final message for tonight? Oh no. 2. I say, oh no, because it's already so long. Oh, I love peacock feathers. I love, love, love peacock feathers. Melanie, mail me my peacock feathers. I have an Etsy client friend. She's been an OG from the beginning. I love her. She has a nonprofit rescuing ducks and birds in Tennessee. It's amazing. Shout out to Mel. She said she would mail me peacock feathers. I remember being a little girl and going on a friend's farm. I had to have been like 7 or 8 or 6, really young. One of my earliest memories. And I remember roaming around their farm, picking up peacock feathers off the ground. And I just felt so full of like magic and pride. Like I had a whole bouquet of peacock feathers that they let me take home. Like I felt so special. And then years later, as an adult, I think 2018, I was in Hawaii solo by myself and I didn't have any money to spend, but I wanted to bring my kids home souvenirs. So I went to a gift shop and I got them each one little thing. I got my daughter a guitar pick. I got my son a little, I think I have it actually, a little heart made out of a stone. I think this is what I bought him in Hawaii. And he was just little, like, I don't know, 11. And then my older son, I can't remember what I brought him. A bottle of sunshine. My daughter would remember. She has such a good memory. And myself, peacock feather earrings. They were like $5. I also came home with a souvenir of 9 screws and a plate in my left leg because I got airlifted out naked in a basket because I thought it would be cool to go skinny dipping and drink Jameson. It wasn't planned. I didn't plan out that way. We were hiking. Okay, it's a whole story. We're already so long into this. I'll just give you like little highlights. So I wasn't even supposed to go to the Big Island. I was supposed to go to Oahu. But my kids and I were in Oahu 6 months prior. Oh, it's such a long story. You guys just ask me later. Okay, I'll just tell. Okay. When my kids and I were there, we had no money. I went to Hawaii with my kids. I only had $60. I paid my rent. After paying rent, I had $60 left over. I had already bought the airfare a year in advance, right? The airfare and the rental car and camping grounds. It was $10 a night to camp on this private campground in Malikahana. So my kids are going to go to Hawaii with no money. Literally, we land. I get in the rental car that's waiting for us at the airport. It's all electric, so no gas had to get put in it. But we drive to Walmart. I bought a $30 pup tent, bread, peanut butter, jelly, water bottles, and 1 pack of hot dogs. And we set up our camp. It was dark when we got to the campgrounds. I remember the headlights were shining on like our little camp spot, and my kids were setting up the tent. I had no clue how to put up a tent. My 10-year-old's like, "Mom, touch the tent so you can say you helped set it up." So I went, "Oop." Anyway, we had no blankets or pillows or anything. We just tent. I think the next day we went to Goodwill and we bought a blanket for $5, I think. A blanket. Yeah, we got a blanket. No chargers, no lanterns. So when the sun went down, we went into our tent and zipped it up and talked until we fell asleep. It was pretty cool. It was definitely interesting. It was really probably the best memory I have with my kids. That 2 weeks in Hawaii with no money, but we were totally provided for. Every day we didn't know what was going to happen. It was a new adventure. It wasn't fearful. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen. It was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen today? Who are we going to meet today? What's the adventure going to be today? And I would recap it every night. I'd sit in the car. Not for too long because I didn't want to drain the battery. And I would give a recap on Facebook, and I would post a few pictures from the day and a quick little recap, and people loved it. And I didn't mean for it to be anything, but like people were following our journey. And it got to the point where we were like so tired of eating peanut butter and jelly and hot dogs. And my 16-year-old son, like the last hot dog fell into the sand and he started crying. I'm like, go jump in the ocean water. And what are you crying for? You're in Hawaii. It took me 40 years to get here, you know? Anyway, so the next night I drove us to like a food truck. Just maybe we could share a plate of food, like hot food, you know? We had peanut butter and jelly, but we're standing there. It smelled so good. It was grilled shrimp, and I saw the price. I was like, nope. Okay. Back in the car, kids. Nope. We can't afford 1 plate of shrimp. But the next morning I woke up to an old neighbor of mine from years prior, from like 10 years prior, messaged me on Facebook, said, I've been following your posts. I'm so inspired. I love what you're doing with your kids. I love the memories you're making. How can I bless you? How can I have like your Cash App or whatever? How can I bless you? And she sent me like $80. It blew me away. And she started a chain reaction, and I didn't do it to try to beg for money, but I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, like in my recap for the day. Cause first thing we did, I told her, I go, we're buying shrimp with that money. She's like, good, do it. So we got our own plates. We each ate our own giant fill of hot grilled shrimp and rice or whatever it was. I don't even remember, but it was so delicious. And I shared what had happened, and then it started a chain reaction. Every day someone different wanted to Cash App us, and it wasn't all at once, but I think it added up to like $700 over the course of 2 weeks of people one at a time. Like, it was just amazing. But anyways, we also met locals. This one lady we met, she used to own a restaurant on the island. This is in Oahu, and she was like this sweet little old grandma, and she invited us over. She's like, come to my house, bring your kids, my grandkids will love them, I'll cook for you. She's like, Ohana family, we're family. And so we went and spent the day with her. Her house was literally on the ocean. The kids were chasing roosters, spearfishing, and me and oh my gosh, what was her name? Emma. I'll have to look on my Facebook. But we just talked and cooked and hung out. And she let me, because I had bought all this pineapple, and she let me cut it up at her house because that's how I met her. I was in the grocery store. I'm like, ma'am, excuse me, do you know if there's a dollar store so I can buy a knife? Like, I just wanted to buy a knife to cut my pineapple. I didn't want to spend $10 on a knife, you know? She's like, oh, come to my house. You know, it was so sweet. And she had this powder. It was this pink powder. I can't remember what it was called. Someone here will have to comment and tell me what it is. But she told me to toss my pineapple chunks in this powder, and it made it so amazing. It was so good. And the pineapple, the fruit, the food on the Big Island, like not the Big Island, sorry, Oahu, whatever. The food in Hawaii is like real food. It's night and day different from what anything you'll taste here stateside, like on the mainland. But we had the best time. We met so many cool people. It was just really amazing. Oh, and then we went, after about a week of being dirty and camping, we went to a laundromat to kind of throw our clothes in the washer and dryer. And while we were at the laundromat, this guy was sitting on his tailgate of his Jeep waiting for his clothes. And I had 2 beers that neighboring campers gave me before they left. They're like, hey, we have 2 leftover beers. You want them? I'm like, sure. And I'm like, hey, man, you want a beer? I've got 2 beers. He's like, sure. So I'm sitting there on his tailgate. The kids are chasing chickens around the little laundromat. And he and I are just shooting the shit, shooting the breeze, talking. He was an extra in movies. That's what he did. He would sleep in his Jeep, and he would wash his clothes at the laundromat. He would shower at Planet Fitness, and he just really enjoyed his little bachelor life and being in movies. And he had I was telling him my love for tiny homes, and he was telling me all about his tiny home that he built from nothing on the Big Island. So long story short, my kids and I have the successful, most amazing 2 weeks of our lives. We come home from that, and 6 months later, I had, being divorced, their dad had 2 weeks with them. I'm like, perfect. That's a perfect opportunity for me to go back to Hawaii, because what am I going to do for 2 weeks? Let's lay at home and cry and miss my kids. So I went back to Hawaii by myself with $100 and a hammock. That was it. I was all proud. Like, shoot, I was successful with 3 kids, 10, 13, and 16 by myself. No money. I got real cocky. I forgot that people blessed us. It wasn't me on my own. It was just the floodgates of abundance, like pouring down on us and God providing for us. And anyway, so I flew myself to Hawaii with only $100 on me for 2 weeks and a hammock, a rain fly, and a notebook. That's it. I wore 7 dresses, 2 bikinis, a hoodie, and my flip-flops on my body. At the airport, they had to pat me down. So right before I left, that guy had texted me out of the blue. It was so crazy. I hadn't spoken with him since coming back with my kids. He's like, hey, how's life? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm actually leaving in 2 days for Oahu. He's like, oh, you should swing by the Big Island and I'll show you my tiny home compound and stuff. I'll show you around the Big Island. And I was like, oh, I don't have the money. But an ex-boyfriend of mine from years prior was like, I don't know why I was talking to him. He was talking to me out of the blue too. And he's like, do it. I'll cash up you the money to, I go, I can't afford to island hop. He's like, I'll cash up you the money to switch your flight. Like, just go for a couple days and go see it. Go see the tiny home. I was like, okay. I'm like, sure. I was like, this fucker owes me. That's the least he can do after breaking my heart, because we almost got married, but he was like a total cheater. Like, biggest heartbreak in my life, right? Wasted my 30s on this dude. But anyway, so he like sends me the money so that I can take this little detour before I start my real vacation, which I had looked up a Groupon with this skydiving company in Oahu that I was going to skydive with. And which this is interesting because I never made it to Oahu because I was skinny dipping and broke my leg. But that company, and this is really sad, the company I was going to skydive with, one of their planes blew up midair, and like 9 or 11 people completely died, lost their lives. That never happens. Like, what if I was going to be on that flight? Because, bought the Groupon, was going to go skydiving in Hawaii. That was one of my bucket list things. Well, it was going to be Dubai, but I was settling for Hawaii. But anyway, so I detoured to the Big Island before going to Oahu by myself, hardly any money, $100 to my name, hammock, notebook, because I was going to hammock on the beach for 2 weeks and write a book. That was my plan. On the flight over, it was like a 5-hour flight. I was like, got my phone out. I'm like, ooh, Candy Crush? No. Candy Crush, write in my notebook. Candy Crush, write. I wrote. I didn't stop. The whole flight, I just wrote nonstop, filled the notebook. I reread it. I felt satisfied. I was really proud of myself. And I was like, yes, that is good shit. That's amazing. And I tucked it into the seat pocket. As I did that, I thought, no, don't do that. You're going to forget it. Don't do it. Yep, I forgot it. I left it on the plane. All I can think is someone was meant to read that. But that was such a anyway, I land in Oahu, or I keep saying Oahu. I land on the Big Island, and the guy with the tiny home compound that he wanted me to show me his tiny home, he's an Uber driver too. So he picks me up from the airport so I can go see his tiny home area. But first he drops me off at a friend's house because he's like, hey, my buddy has this house he's working on, like constructing, like he's remodeling it for his family. He said you can stay there. I'm like, cool. Okay. So he's driving me to his buddy's house from the airport. And while we're driving, he's like, you should come 4x. Was it him? No, he didn't. No. The buddy, the house. Okay. So he drops me off at this house full of guys. Like it's just their hangout spot. It was so funny. All these electricians. And I get out of the Uber and they're just like jaws hit the ground. Like I was like, hi. I was just this burst of energy. And as I'm walking towards them to like shake their hands and say hello, and they're drinking beers in the front yard, tailgate down on their pickups. You know, I think there was like 5 or 6 of them. And I'm walking towards them. I've been sweaty all day on the plane, wearing 7 freaking dresses, a hoodie, like wearing all my clothes on my body because I'm cheap and I didn't want to pay for any baggage. I'm stripping my clothes off as I'm walking towards them, and they were just jaw dropped, staring like, what? You know, it was so funny. I didn't get naked, but like I was taking all my layers off because it was horrible. Like, I don't recommend flying like that. But then we played Scrabble. It was so fun. We had beers. We stayed up like late playing Scrabble. Then they invited me to go 4x up Mauna Kea with their like caravan of Jeeps. And I'm like, yeah, heck yeah. So I go up Mauna Kea the next day. We're 4x up to the peak, like the tallest mountain from, I think it's the base in underwater, like the tallest mountain in the world. And we get to the very top, to the peak, and I don't have money for souvenirs, right? So I picked up 3 pebbles because I thought how cool to bring home to my kids proof or like something from the tallest mountain in the world. You know, I got to the very top of the tallest mountain in the world in a Jeep full of coolers and liquor and drinks. And it was just fun. I felt so free. Anyway, so one of the guys in the group, we got back from that whole excursion, totally muddy, dusty, dirty. It's just exhausted. It felt so fun. And we're sitting there playing Cards Against Humanity or something like that. We're playing board games. And he's talking about how he built a tiny home for HGTV Paradise. And I'm like, what? I want to see it. That's my passion. I wanted to buy a tiny home. I wanted to build one. I want to live in it. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll take you tomorrow and show you, you know. And he was probably the cutest one of the group. Like, I would say, man, I don't know. Looking back, I'm like, what? Okay, if you're watching, I'm sorry. You're cute. I just don't think so anymore. But at the time, I was like, okay, the cute one wants to take me to show me his Airbnb. Let's go. So the next day, we go look at his Airbnb. It was super, super rad. Like, there's a hot tub on the balcony. It was a tree house, and it was, up in the trees. And it was just so cool. There was a zip line. I was video recording it, posting it on Facebook. I was too much of a pussy to take the zip line because I didn't want to hurt myself. Joke's on me because like an hour later, I was getting airlifted out naked in a basket with a shattered ankle and a broken leg. But he's like, okay, what do you want to do next? We can go to the lava fields, or we can go to these mermaid ponds, on the cliff, or like these pools, like cliffside pools of water. I'm like, definitely water. Because I was like, I don't like being hot and sweaty. So we drive. He's like, okay, we have to hike in. We can't drive right up to it. So we park. And he dumps out his hydro flask and fills it with, because he still had the cooler in the back of his truck with liquor in it from when we were like on our little adventure on the mountain. So he fills his hydro flask with Jameson, and we're hiking towards these cliffside pools. And I'm just we're just passing it back and forth, hiking and drinking, like sips, just talking. And I'm little Miss Insecure, I've never really, I've always had like confidence issues. Um, and I think that stems from being married to someone who told me for 10 years I was fat and ugly and worthless. And I wasn't, but it just kind of stuck with me. So anyone who's been in something like that understands what I'm talking about. Like my perception of like my body image and my looks have always been anyway. So little insecure me just keeps drinking, liquid courage. I'm with a cute, hot guy. Like, drink a little more. Maybe I'll be cuter if I drink more. But we get there to these pools and I get in the water and I've never skinny dipped in my life. And I'm just like, I guess I was already like inebriated. And I just like, he's not even on that level of let's get naked, right? It was me. It was all me. I like stripped down and he looks over. He's like, what are you? Oh, mid-sentence. Okay. Like I throw my bikini top at him. He's like, okay. So we like whatever, skinny dip, splash around, goofing around. Like it's like these cliffside pools, the water like splashes up from the ocean to these rocks and you're in this pool of water. It was really cool. But our suits got washed away and he's like, our suits are gone. And I'm like, what? So I'm climbing up lava rocks. There's no logic in that. That is proven that I was drunk. There's proof that I'm drunk. Who climbs up into the rocks up in the air? If that makes no sense. Swimsuits are washed away. They're going to be in the water somewhere, and I can't get, he's looking for him. I'm over on wherever I'm at looking for him. And I get stuck. I can't find my way. Like I climbed up high and I didn't know how to get down and it didn't look very far to me. Depth perception is gone, right? It didn't look very far, but I decided to jump down like Spider-Man. It looked like maybe like 2-3 feet, I decided to jump and it was more like 10 feet. I think he said it was like 8 to 10 feet. I don't know, 12 feet, like somewhere around that. But it's lava rock. Lava rock is worse. It's like tougher than nothing. You don't beat lava rock. Like it's harder than concrete. So, I jump, naked Spider-Man, jump down with force and confidence. Woo! Instant crumple. Snap. Shatter my left leg. And I yell out. I'm like, hey! Because I don't want to be a bother and I'm still drunk. I'm like giggling. I'm like, I think I broke my leg. And he yells back, no, you did not. I'm like, yeah, pretty sure. Whenever you get a chance, I'm over here. And this dude comes running around the corner of this like cave-like rocks, cupping his junk, running around the corner, eyes wide, like looking for wild, like what's going on, but and then he like bends over, lifts up my foot, and you can see my leg is like, I have a video online and you can see it curved, like it's fucked. He lifts it up and he's like, oh fuck, oh shit. I'm like, what? He's like, your foot's not attached to your leg. And he's like, I'm gonna go get help. And he like runs off to get cell service and or help. I don't know. He goes off to get help and I'm just laying there naked and broken. And then he comes up with like 2 other dudes that are like naked. Like it's like hippie land over there, right? And they found our swimsuits. These 3 guys are putting me back together while the helicopter's above me and they're lowering the basket, the EMTs, and these guys are trying to like put me back into my swimsuit with my broken leg. This swimsuit, mind you, is not a skimpy swimsuit. It's one of those like cutout. It's like high neck. It was like high neck with like a cutout design and a crisscross back. It was super complicated to get on. It's not easy. And I was drunk on top of it. And I'm like half in my swimsuit and the EMT guy's putting a jacket on me. They're loading me in the basket and I'm giggling and laughing and he's lecturing me, telling me, you Howleys come to our island and put us at risk. And I'm just giggling and I'm like, it's so beautiful up here. I'm looking down at the island below me from this helicopter basket. And they get me over to wherever the ambulance is. And the guy in the ambulance was really nice. He was like, I'm so sorry. He was just smiling. He's like, I feel so bad for you. I wish I could give you pain meds, but your blood pressure's too low or too high. It was too something. And I just laughed and I said, oh, the Jameson, I've got Jameson, I'm fine. And then the ER nurse was so sweet. Mind you, I'm alone. The guy I went hiking with, we had gotten like separated because I got airlifted to the ambulance and he had to hike back out to his truck. But I'm in the hospital by myself with this ER nurse. I'm telling her about our plans for the next day. We were going to go to something called Narnia on the Big Island. If anyone's from Hawaii and knows Narnia, I guess it's like some big pipe that you have to like crawl across like 100 feet above a ravine or something to get to this special place where locals go, some adventure spot. I don't know. And I'm not a very active like adventure person. Like I want to be in my heart, but I'm not. That just sparks my brain. This is really long. That sparks my mind back. Okay, go back. We're not in Hawaii anymore. I'm going back in time to like 2013 when I was on like a dating site, Plenty of Fish or some shit like that. And I matched with someone and in my heart, I'm a hiker in my heart. Had I ever really gone on any like hike? No, but I matched with someone and we're talking about, yeah, let's go hiking for our first date. So this is in Oregon. I don't know if anyone knows Eugene, but like there's Spencer's Peak or something like that. I meet this guy to hike for our first meet. And I am literally holding my breath, hiking behind him up this like, I think it's like 800 or 900 feet, not very steep. I could not, and I wasn't overweight. I was in pretty good shape. And like, I could not keep up. I had no endurance. I was like, and then about halfway up, I just stopped and like clung to a tree and it was like, fuck it. The cat's out of the bag. I'm not a hiker. Okay. I'm not a hiker. And I'm clinging to this tree and I'm like catching my breath and panting. And this guy is looking at me with such disgust and like disappointment. Man, who cares if I was cute? Like I was not a hiker and he knew it. And it was so funny. Anyway, back to Hawaii where I'm in the ER and this ER nurse is hearing me wanting to go on this other adventure. And she was like eyes wide, stern face, looking at me. She was probably 23, 25. And she's like, thank God you broke your leg today because you would be dead tomorrow. You would not. She knew exactly what spot I was talking about. She's like, you would not have survived that. Absolutely not. Thank God you broke your leg. And I personally think breaking my leg saved me from, maybe it saved me from dying in a airplane that blew up. I don't know. It was just a small skydiving plane, but that was the company I bought my freaking thing, my skydiving thing ticket through Groupon. But crazy story, right? Why did I tell that story? I don't remember, but hopefully y'all were entertained. Leave me a comment because I feel like I way overshared. So reassure me that I'm okay. And if you have any questions, I will answer them. That was quite the adventure. Oh, yeah. And then I went from cool adventure chick, right? All these electrician guys and their little like hangout house that they were remodeling and stuff. Not cool. I went to like needing help to the bathroom, needing help to get food out of the fridge brought to me. I went from cool adventure girl to needy, broken leg. They couldn't do anything for me in Hawaii because my insurance wouldn't cover it. And I called the airlines. They wouldn't fly me home sooner. I had no money to fly home sooner. So I was stuck there for 2 weeks. What was that guy's name? The guy's house who owned the house, Dan. He was cool. He was like from Berkeley, California. Super cool. Like I think he was like 50, mid 40s, 50. I don't know. Super cool. Married, little girl, like super sweet guy. He was there every day working on his house because his family, they were all coming from California to visit him. Like the day I left, they arrived. So super generous of him to allow me to stay there. But I would just prop my leg up. I was on crutches and I'd sit there and drink a beer, sit there in the open air because the house was open air because it wasn't remodeled. So it was like open to the elements. I'd sit there in the indoor living room area place while he was working on remodeling it. And we would just talk about everything. It was really cool. And at one point he actually shared with me that he'd never been, no one had ever like prayed for him before. Oh, because he started opening up about, I think his relationship with his dad. He like really got choked up. And I don't remember exactly what it was about, but I just took the opportunity to be like, you know what? I want to pray for you. And he was like, what? No, no one's ever prayed for me before. I'm like, what? No one's ever prayed for you, not even your mother? And he's like, especially not my mom. No, no, no. She's very intellectual. And I'm like, what? And this is little Christian me, right? Like grew up evangelical Christian. I'm like, I'm gonna pray for you right now. And he's like, well, I don't believe in that stuff. I go, it's okay. You don't have to believe in it because I do. And I don't even know what I prayed, but like, I just put my hand on his back and just, he was in his, like a white wife beater. I'll never forget this. And I don't know what words came out of my mouth, but man, the Holy Spirit was there, and the Holy Spirit hit him hard, and he broke down like a baby, ugly crying, snot soaked shirt. His wife beater at the end was drenched, and he had to like take it off because it was just drenched in snot. And he bawled to me like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, he was so appreciative. And I'm like, it's not me, that's God, that's all Holy Spirit. Like, that's so, never underestimate the power that you carry, your words, your story, your heart. Just, I don't even know what words came out of my mouth when I prayed for him, but the intention to reach him on like a level that would heal. I really believe that's where the magic lies, is in your heart, in the intention that you put forth. And I think science or research has proven that like light, there's like the most energy comes out of our hands. So when you lay hands on someone, it's like an energetic. I always think of Avatar, the movie Avatar, where the tail with the little things they ride and they like merge. I feel like our hands are like that. Like when you touch someone, it's like all your energy surges through you into them, and the power of your mind, it determines what you're giving them, what energy you're literally giving him. And I really feel, I didn't know about all this back then, but I think that my pain, my misfortunes were recycled into something beautiful and something good. And I didn't even realize it, just what I carried, he needed in that moment, whatever I carried, like the hope, the light, the belief that life can be beautiful and you can overcome and surmount any obstacle, any estrangement in family, no matter what it is. Nothing lasts forever, and everything can change in a moment. All right. So enough of that, because we're at an hour and a half. I'm going to read these last two cards to you. And we're going to read about Journey. This Journey card here. Oh, just kidding. Insight opened up first. So the peacock feather first. Oh, yeah, my peacock feather earrings. That's what sparked all of that storytelling. Insight. Discovery is the journey. Insight is the destination. That's a quote from Gary Hamel. It can sometimes be difficult to find true insight into a person or situation. It's easy to become distracted by the details that blind you from delving into the heart of the matter. If you're trying to gain a better understanding of something in your life, instead of looking at the details one by one, consider how the picture comes together as a whole. Excuse me. When you concentrate too hard on one particular thing, you run the risk of obstructing your view of the bigger picture. Insight allows your mind to become open to all possibilities. Do not force the elements to suit your ideal narrative. Instead, use your observations as a barometer for measuring the climate of the situation. Let me read that again. Instead, use your observations as a barometer for measuring the climate of a situation. So be observant, be silent, listen. Remember we talked about listening in the beginning? Like I'm not very good at that, but just use your insight, use your intuition, and kind of like feel the room, feel the energy, feel the environment, the climate of a situation. Not to forecast a certain outcome, not to impose your beliefs or to impose your viewpoint, but just to gauge the environment, right? The more you allow your mind to be open, the more you will allow insight and awareness into your conscious thought. My light, aware, realize, open, receptive. My shadow, closed, insular, obstructed, and limited. And here are my sacred words. As I open my mind to possibility, the world opens my eyes to the truth. And this is associated with your third eye chakra. The eye of the peacock feather is symbolic of your third eye. Both your third eye and your mind must remain open if you wish to receive clear and concise insight. And interesting enough, I set the deck down and this moon caught my attention. So might as well. We're already super long. If you made it this far, like, congratulations, you get a gold star. And you got a really entertaining story, I think. Please, somebody comment. Make me feel better for oversharing. Clarity. Carl Jung says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. It can be difficult to make decisions without having complete awareness of a situation. If there are circumstances that you're currently facing, sorry, I made up the word facing because it was turning the page. If there are circumstances you are currently struggling with, consider whether you are fully informed of the situation. Now may be the perfect time to undertake further research, ask questions, or simply give thoughtful consideration to the situation at hand. It may also be a good time to recognize elements surrounding the matter that you are choosing to avoid or not acknowledge at all. Perhaps the facts are hurtful or difficult to bear, but facing the truth of a situation will ultimately enable you to find peace and closure. It's time to open your heart and mind to the truth as it exists before you. Transparent, lucid, luminous, unambiguous. Shadow side would be cloudy, muddied, indirect, uncertain. And here is an affirmation. I enter the world eyes wide open, awake to every truth as it finds me. Another card associated with the third eye chakra. The moon casts its light upon some objects while leaving others in shadow. As it does not illuminate everything, it reminds you that not all things will be apparent to you at all times. Okay. And lastly, but not least, in fact, this might be the most important message of all right here. Journey. It's depicted with the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail, depicting like I think it's like the infinity of life. I could be wrong. We'll find out. Journey. And it's got a quote here by Rhonda Rousey. I'm scared of failure all the time, but I'm not scared enough to stop trying. Oh my gosh. Last night at work, I was singing the song from Yo Gabba Gabba. It came to mind. I'm going to sing it real quick. My coworkers were laughing at me. I'm like, keep trying, you'll get it right. You'll get it right. Keep trying, you'll get it right. How does the rest go? Don't give up, you'll get it right. Oh, now I can't remember it. Oh, well, maybe someone just needed to hear that little ditty. Keep trying, you'll get it right. Don't give up, you'll get it right. Don't stop, get it. Okay, all right. When working towards a goal, always remember to congratulate yourself on the little victories along the way. When you become caught up in the end game, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that those little steps of progress are insignificant. Be grateful for each one of these little wins. Life is not a linear pathway from the cradle to the grave. Can we say that one more time? Life is not a linear pathway from the cradle to the grave. It's a journey of many beginnings, many endings, and many detours. Have you ever heard that? There's like a quote, a journey of like 1,000 miles begins with one step or something like that. I used to have a blog, I think that I always start things and never finish them. Anyway, it's a journey of many beginnings, many endings, and many detours. Throughout your journey, there are times when you will find yourself knocked down, falling short of the mark, or disappointed that the cards have not fallen in your favor. It's time to remind yourself that all these things are part of the journey through life, and it's through these difficult experiences that you will find victories all the sweeter. Embrace each and every experience as they offer you a lesson, an appreciation, or an opportunity for gratitude. Failure is not an ending to the journey, but rather a learning curve from which you will emerge more brilliant than ever before. Stay the course, remain humble, and above all, remember that what might seem like an ending is actually a beautiful beginning. Infinite, unbounded, persist, persevere. Shadow side would be failure, end, stop, conclude. Don't give up, you'll get it right. Keep trying. I understand that failure is not an ending, but simply an opportunity for growth. Crown chakra. The Ouroboros depicts a serpent devouring its tail, representing the infinite passage of time and the cyclical nature of life. Each new chapter reminds you that no journey has ever truly ended, but is simply the turning of another page. Woo! And on that note, I close this chapter at 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 55 seconds. Mwah. Good night, folks. I hope that you enjoyed this long ass Oracles Only reading, and I'll see you next Sunday, hopefully with more stories for you.